Even when I was the actual Bachelor, and that's kind of the height of my people recognizing me, I just kind of did what I wanted to do. Like, I was still never that big or that noticeable. And I don't know how you feel, being, obviously very well known and having a lot of success. Like, have you had to change in terms of, you still like go to Chipotle if you want a burrito? It's not like, oh, I can't possibly wait in line. I'm going to be like harassed or anything like that. Like, I just got to do what I want to do,
How do you find social media? I mean, you talked earlier a bit about like the culture of comparison on social media. Mm-hmm. How has that, or does that affect your relationships, or do you not let it get to you? I think, as you say, a lot of people just post their highlight reels, maybe in an attempt to just share positive moments, but there is value in being vulnerable as well. I think there's also something very special about saving things for real life, not posting everything on social media. Our rule is always, if we're not doing it in real life, we're not going to do it. We're not going to share it on social media. Yeah. Like, it needs to be real life first. And then if we want to share it, it goes, out there. But I think a lot of the times that can get blurred.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I try to, same with you guys, be authentic to myself. I mean, I don't put anything on social that I don't actually do or enjoy. I certainly like to goof around on my social and show different sides of me, but that's essentially an authentic representation. As far as like just the internet in general, I think as far as interpersonal relationships, I think we've gotten worse at it as a result of social media. We rely on that too much, and when it comes to dating, it's great that dating apps exist, or you can have access to literally anyone in the world. You can slide into their DMs, so to speak. With that comes this kind of overwhelming abundance of choice.
Yeah.
I think back in the day, you'd meet someone, you'd fall in love. Now when a relationship faces the inevitable conflict, it's really easy to kind of see what else is out there. And have access to what the perception of what's out there more than is reality. And,
Do you find when you've met women after the shows, potentially someone to date, do you find that they feel that there is a perception of what they think you want to see? Maybe it was other women that were on The Bachelor, and they tried to personify something that they think you would want. Do you ever see people almost faking certain aspects of their personality to try and appeal to you more? Or
are you talking
you're
about
pretty
women from the show or anyone I meet?
No, in general, like people who know you from the show, people who have watched how the women interact with you on the show, and then in real life when you meet them, they try to put on a persona that they think you will like to be more appealing.
A little bit, right? I mean, but not I think it has more to do with obviously going on reality TV in general, and specifically The Bachelor, as a unique experience, and one that if you haven't been on, you're a fan, you're really fascinated by it. Even celebrities who are fans of the show are fascinated by the process. Other people, like for example, if I've dated them and they're in the public eye, there's just not a lot of, you feel like they're just treating you like your friends and family from back home would treat you. And that's a comforting feeling. You feel like you just want to be able to, I've always said, like, safety is a big part of dating for me. And that sounds almost like what kind of white male needs to worry about safety or whatever, it's in terms of dating. But it's just the safety of being yourself, safety of, telling jokes, telling stories about your past, and not worry it's going to end up on some blog or and not that I'm that irrelevant or important that it would, but you just want to know that you're going to have a level of privacy, and sometimes that doesn't always happen. And sometimes you just want to feel like, and even if it has nothing to do with it getting out, but you just want to be able to tell them without feeling judgment. And sometimes that judgment really only comes from, again, a place of insecurity of saying, well, like, It's like someone will ask about the show, while saying they don't care. Then you talk about the show, you indulge their answers, and they're like, "You only talk about the show," and it's just like, "Oh my god!" Like, okay, I can't.
Yeah.
What do you want?
That's all you ask about.
I mean, even when I was the actual Bachelor, and at kind of the height of my people recognizing me, I just kind of did what I wanted to do. Like, I was still never that big or that noticeable, and I don't know how you feel. Being, obviously very well known and having a lot of success. Like, have you had to change in terms of, you still like go to Chipotle if you want a burrito? It's not like, oh, I can't possibly wait in line. I'm going to be like harassed or anything like that. Like, I just got to do what I want to do,
Sometimes it does make it hard when you're in public. Sometimes it makes it a little harder just for us to have our own time with family if people are continually coming up. But it's a part of the gig.
I'm trying to imagine what the equivalent of me would be for like you going into a Lowe's or a Home Depot, where it's just like, because like that's
people will come over. People will hear Jonathan or my voice from an aisle over, and they'll recognize us from our voice, and they run over to our aisle, and they'll have like a list
swabs,
their floor plans and floor samples and kitchen cabinet design. And they ask us to help. And again, we really appreciate that people are inspired in their homes by us. But it just changes. It changes the dynamic of how we interact with people. It doesn't change us. I think we are still the same people we were growing up. And I love that we've been able to stay the same and not change. I think our parents would kick our butts.